Hand is on your left. Rosum is on your right. It's Humans versus Amulet Titan. Both these players starting off with powerful 1-mana artifacts, as there is a Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, to maybe slow Rosum down a bit.
A lot of extra mana to be made.
It'll be another Amulet there for Rosum after playing a Radiant Fountain, bringing him up to 22. It looks like we've got Phantasmal Images and Thalia's Lieutenants and Noble Hierarchs pumping up all these creatures, which is going to allow Dylan to attack for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with Exalted triggers. Rosum down to 16. Got my math right, which is nice. Should be a pretty big attack next turn there for Dylan Hand. Simic Growth Chamber is going to enter the battlefield. Some mana will be floated. It's prime time, baby.
So basically the absolute best draws possible from both decks scoring off right now.
That's what it appears to be. Picking up a couple of lands here. Now there's Trinket Mage with mana floating. This is going to get Engineered Explosives on 2. Oh, boy. Yeah, that math's all right there. Looks like both players confirmed that.
Some normal draws.
Yeah. Well, back to Dylan, who's about to have his battlefield blown to smithereens. Going to leave the Vial on 2. Unclear if he even has a good attack to make. And Rosum's at 16. Hand will start by sacrificing Horizon Canopy via a Noble Hierarch. This will be a 6-power First Striker coming at you, Primeval Titan. What do you think about that? Engineer Explosive says it's going to clean all that up. That's a Kitesail Freebooter. Take a Hive Mind. Rosum with a lot of lands in hand, but that doesn't matter all that much because his best cards are on the battlefield. John thinking about playing something here. A little unsure of himself at this stage. Going to play another Amulet. Here comes the attack. Teleria West's Plural will come down. There's a Simic Growth Chamber. Going to be able to transmute this. Going to go ahead and grab a little something here. Will Rosum. It's going to be a Summoner's Pack. Summoner's Pack going to get another Titan. Titan going to do a little bit of work here. Get a Teleria West and a Simic Growth Chamber. And it's actually going to be a Gruul Turf. Get that back. Transmute that. Go get a Walking Ballista. That's a 5/5. Yeah, I think that's a good enough. Jeez.
Can't ask for a whole lot more of a draw than what Hand just had, and it was not even close to close.
Not even a little close there, as Awesome Rosum gives Dylan Hand quite the beatdown. Amulet Titan quickly up a game here over Humans. What do I got for a sideboard? I got papers in front of us? I don't even know where I am. I got Jonathan Rossum's in front of me. 3 Spell Pierce, 3 Abrade, 2 Fire Spouts, a Cavernous Souls, a Tormod's Crypt, Engineered Explosives, and Ranganap Excavator. Reclamation Sage, Tireless, Traka, and a Hornet Queen.
Like the Hornet Queen, bzz. Like the Explosives,
boom.
The Fire Spouts and the Abrades.
Destroy target artifact.
Destroy target artifact.
Just ask Matthew Dilks, he'll tell you. Dylan Hand. Couple Damping Spheres, 3 of them in the board, 2 Dismembers, 2 Gaddock Teagues, 2 Oriok Champions, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 3 Deputy Attention, and a Trap that is Ravenous.
Like the Damping Spheres, and like the Deputy Attention as well.
Okay. Well, these players are going to turbo shuffle. Get ready here for game number 2. Dylan Hand got smoked in that one. Rosum made it look pretty easy, but that's what this deck looks like when it draws multiple copies of Amulet of Vigor.
Yeah, a matchup like this where don't really interact with artifacts, can't interact with your lands, no counter spells, no discard. Humans really doesn't have a whole lot of recourse against the best Amulet Titan hands, and that one was one of the best.
Well, let's see if we can get one of those best human hands here for Dylan Hand, who's going to start things off with a Vial, and now here's a Meddling Mage. And that one's naming Engineered Explosives. This is a Reclamation Sage. It's probably pretty darn good. Here's Thalia's Lieutenant. Put a counter there on the Meddling Mage, which will allow it to get into the red zone. Here's an Ancient Stirrings here for Awesome Rosum. Radiant Fountain is the find. Another Stirrings here. Simic Growth Chamber is the selection. There's the Radiant Fountain. There's the Amulet. Pretty good turn there from Rosum. Weird, all those spells costing 1 mana.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yeah. It's the correct mana cost to pay for things.
Yes. Damping Sphere is going to attempt to slow Rosum down a little bit as we head back over to John. Tribe Scout is going to go active. Slayer Stronghold is a land that's placed on the battlefield. Next up is a Simic Growth Chamber, but floated some mana beforehand, and now here's prime time, baby. Tularia West's Plural will come on to the battlefield now. Another Meddling Mage here for Dylan.
That ain't it.
Hive Mind the name, trying to stay alive through all of this. But I think I'm inclined to agree with you there, boss. It's not it, as the kids say.
It's not it.
That's not lit.
It's not an answer to Primeval Titan.
Prime time coming on in. Thinking maybe a Colony Garden. How is Rosum just at 19 still? Just hasn't even taken like any damage.
I guess Radiant Fountain's part of it.
Sure.
But, yep.
This deck can play through a Damping Sphere pretty well, truth be told. There's another Amulet. Simic Growth Chamber. Got a Transmute. Get a Ballista. Play the Ballista for only 2. Pass the turn back, maybe with the intention of getting a Meddling Mage off of the battlefield here in just a moment, as Dylan Hanna will play a Horizon Canopy for the turn. Manus Rider will allow him to get into the air, and we can't forget that Thaddeus Lieutenant's going to get a little bit bigger and be able to attack as well. But it's still a tough road to hoe here if you're Dylan Han.
Well, the ground's pretty well locked up at this point, and Rosum's going to have just a boatload of mana to work with, and doesn't even really need to do anything about the Damping Sphere because he can use all of his mana on Walking Ballista instead of trying to do some explosive combo.
Gruul Turf's the land. Engineer Explosives is the find. Prime time is going to attack, and folks, we're all set here. Dylan Han knows it. Jonathan Rosum knows it. They both know it. They've both played humans a ton, but Rosum abandoned the